Hello, welcome back and welcome once again to Wyming Brook. Set off this morning because there was a few fog banks around. Didn't really turn out to be what I wanted. It was really just, you know, low cloud, that kind of thing. Very wet and miserable and murky. So I thought I'll fly on up to Padley Gorge, and if I'm not feeling it there, I'll continue to Wyming Brook, and here I am. I've not seen Wyming Brook in the spring, or at least I've not been in here when everything started to bud and blossom. So it's already looking quite nice, a lot different from when I last came. If you check out the video previously, you'll see there's all skeletal trees, but I did have a really good day. I think I was with Dan and John, my amigos, on that trip. So yeah, exciting, all to play for. I'm just gonna casually meander down the brook, see what we can find. I'm not looking for anything in particular. I think it would be nice if there was some little patches of colourful flowers, so there might be a few bluebells around. That'd be good. But the brook looks like it's in good form. Let's see. Okay, so you'll see this kind of shot all the way down Wyming Brook, and it's a series of little cascades coming down. You've got these beautifully coloured rocks either side, and the problem is with these shots is it's quite flat. Relatively, it's flat. So what I try to do is just get into where the image is interesting. So for me, I think this bit here, this is where it's all going to be interesting. And also, the reason I'm taking it is not so much just because of the flow of the water, but the colour. Look at the colour there. That's going to come out quite nice in a long exposure. It's going to give an interesting look to the water. Now, some might prefer nice, clear, you know, bright white, but you see that all the time. With the peak, you get these streaks in the water, which I understand is due to the peat. It just discolours everything. So I try and make use of that. I think it's quite nice. I think it's good to see that discoloration. I'll get the camera set up now, and we'll have a look at it framed up. Well, whatever it is in there. So I'm going to start with my ever flexible, ever popular 24-105 lens. But the idea from that is to see if either the 7200 or the 50mm would do it better, just because the light's still quite low, the sun's not long up, and that lens gives me really good options. But of course it's where I'm going to have to be to get the shot. So 24-104, I'm going to see what we can do. So here we are framed up, and that looks quite nice, and I can certainly work with the background there. I think we could do some stuff in Lightroom to make that look attractive, but I really do feel that this scene will be a bit lacking. I think it'd be okay, I think it'd be pretty enough for Instagram, that kind of thing, but I don't really feel that there's a great shot in that scene. You may disagree. So what I intend doing is when my camera, you know, every time in it, I could cut it out, but I don't want to. Right, let's just get in there. If I come in closer, right, so I'm not worried about up here. I'm not worried about that. I don't really care. And in. Right, so we've got this and this, and then I want to bring that down. There's an interesting bit of water, an interesting body of water. And then it's how far can I come out to give that some, you know, interest around the sides. So that's all I've got to do. I just come backwards, and straight away I'm starting to see a shot there, yeah? Got this area down here and this large rock there with the colour. Still got this in, looking nice. I could maybe pivot this around a little bit to this side, getting a bit more of the fall there, a bit more of the cascade as it drops in. Just try that. So this is how I'd go about this. I'd get in close, get in tight, and then I say sort of draw the camera out, increase that focal length, and see at what point I should stop it, because bang, there's a good composition. I hope that makes sense. So what I'll do, I'll take a shot with it all in, and then I'll do you know, that closer, we say intimate shot, but really it's just finding the point at which I think the composition works for me, maintains the interest. I mean, we've not even talked about shutter speed or exposure time, etc. It won't be a long exposure, well, it won't be too long of an exposure because of the force of the water, but hopefully that makes sense. Do try that when you see a scene, focusing on the bit that's actually interesting to you, and then draw it back. Obviously you can only do it if you've got a telephoto lens, you've got a prime, which I may switch to, because I'm seeing that I'm at 50 mil. I'm literally at 50 mil right now where we left it. And that says to me, with the minimum of faffing about, I can get the composition that I see in the 24-105, but I get to use, you know, the better, arguably, the better lens. So, right, I'll show you those pictures now. That felt like a good one. I enjoyed doing that, and it's a great way to start. You know, I've not been in the area for more than 5 minutes, and I feel like we've got a shot to be going on with, something to look forward to when I sit down at home. It's really nice to see all this green coming out. I'll get a bit bored of it in about a month. I'll be complaining about how everything is green, but at the moment it's really nice, and it's I feel like it's filling up my energy cells, my creative energy cells. I love it. Just it's so good to see leaves on these branches. So yeah, last time I was here, no leaves, all skeletal, but it's good today. Quite messy. One of the things you'll find with, you know, both spring and summer cores is the chaos. Branches everywhere, leaves intertwining. So it's just seen a pretty bird. Once again, my incredible lack of attention. Yeah, it's sorting out the chaos. I'm sure that's a vlog in its own right. I've seen a few other people talk about it, but it is important. And how you separate your composition from the chaos. So I'm just looking around because I've just come through a nice little drop. It's a little bit darker here. There's some nice scenes, but there's a lot of detritus. There's clumps of dead trees, dead branches, just kind of messing it all up a little bit. So I'm gonna walk on, I think. Yeah, don't think there's anything here for me right now. No. I'm going to take a quick shot here. I'm not going to go through it all, because even if you're new to photography, I've nothing to teach you. It's going to be a slightly longer exposure. I've just got to decide how much I want in focus. Do I want the background not so much, which is how I tend to go. There's no special light illuminating that or anything, so it's of little interest to me. So I'll probably keep the focus on the front. I am going to get down a bit lower, and just to exaggerate this, because up here, I don't know if you can see, it's okay. It's okay. And you know, these colours do make a difference. So I will put that shot up. I'll put the higher attitude shot up. But I think the one for me is going to when I come down and just exaggerate that fall a little bit, and I'll throw that up now. Might look a bit busy, but I do think there's a winner there. Across the bank, see how beautifully sort of serene and calm that bank is. Just I don't know why, but I think of Hobbiton when I see those sort of colours and the gentle little bumps all covered. So yeah, I'm going to try and get a shot here, I think, because I like it a lot. And I'll use the same thing as I used before, so I'm going to switch from the 50mm, put the 24-105 on, and sort of draw out until I think I find the composition. It feels like a tip. Do you think that's a tip? Have I just given a tip? I think I have. Okay, technical time. Got a lovely big swirly foamy bit just there, really big. Then we've got these reasonably busy cascades coming down. They're not particularly wide, so you know, this is the thing. I want the swirly foamy bit to have that beautiful swirl that you see, but you can probably tell from the video it's not really moving very quickly, and that means I'm going to have a long exposure, maybe 5-6 seconds to get the kind of creamy movement and at least 1 or 2 swirls in it. But 6 seconds on that, which isn't really a lot of water at the top there. Those are very narrow, let's say, spouts. Here's not too bad down the bottom. So I could either crop in on this sort of lower half of the cascade and then bring that in, or try and get it all in. So I'm going to work around it. I'm going to see what's best. But the main thing is, I'll do a 6-second exposure on the swirly foamy bit, and then just the normal, probably 10th of a second, you know, maybe even not that, on the falls here, and then I'll blend them together. Yeah, photo stacking, you know, Ed hates it, but that's the only way I'm going to get that to do what I want it to do, if it'll do what I want it to do. And you can be the judge of that when the result comes up right now. I should probably point out, because I just realised when I took the shot that I hadn't told you, I'm also using an ND filter because of the exposure. The only way I'm going to get that 6-second shot is with the use of an ND filter, and then to dial that down when I do the other side. So now the picture will come up. Okay, when I looked at this, I thought it was quite busy at first, so I sat down and got a sandwich out. Sorry I didn't share that with you. Cheese and onion, nice. But the more I looked at it, the more I thought, no. Just keep in frame what makes it exciting, but not busy. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So obviously across there, absolutely beautiful, really nice, just really great character there. All this stuff down here, I don't need that. There's a sort of gentle fall on this side, and that's fine, because that's just going to pull a little balance this way, and then you've got the channels there that are bubbling away nicely. So I think, again, good shot there. And it's just a case of sorting out what works, yeah, and discarding what is unnecessary. Yeah, shot coming up now. Big thank you to everyone who's subscribed recently. Thanks for joining. Thanks for getting on board to these vlogs. I love doing them, and when you folks comment as well, I'll always reply if possible, and hopefully give you answers if possible. It's nothing to do with, you know, where I am. So yeah, thanks so much. And if you've not yet subscribed, please do, and ring the bell for notifications, and that way you get to see these wonderful places as soon as I upload them. don't seem to have won with the light. Just looking at it, it doesn't look like it's going to, by the time I finish it, it still won't be high enough to hit the bank. But I did see this shot, and I think I've done this before, but for today, for some reason, despite the rain, I'm able to get a little bit closer to it than I have done previously. So let me just show you in here. This is a great little face-on shot, so full on, nothing fancy. The water features are doing all the work, okay? And what I want to do again is try and get the swirly foamy thing there. So it's the same thing. I'm going to do a longer exposure on that. Then we're going to use the ND filter combined with a shorter exposure, but still a longer exposure, on the water itself, and then try and blend those two together. I'll do a few shots just to see how it looks if I didn't mess about with it, whether it's still pleasing to the eye. And one option is to just not put the swirly foamy thing in, but I just think this close up it's going to look really nice. I'm going to give it a go, and I'll put that up now. Any other shots I've taken today that I've not sort of shown off in this video, I'll put them at the end. Thanks for coming along. I hope it's been a little bit shorter this one than the last one I did, and informative on your water shots. It's really just about, I think, getting your focus into the water and then drawing it back and filling the frame as you come back, rather than just trying to see the big picture. Go in, come back, and fill the frame until you're happy. I think that's the only advice I can give you today, and hopefully this works out and you enjoy it. See you for the next one. Bye.